Nguvu mashinani.
Bunge la Mwananchi.
Nguvu mashinani.
Bunge la Mwananchi.
Nguvu mashinani.
Members of the Fourth Estate, fellow Kenyans, ladies and gentlemen, we have gathered here this morning as Bunge la Mwananchi under the President Lawrence Oyugi to register our voices on the utterances that were made by one Gov Kahiga, who is the governor of Nyeri County. Utterances that shocked the entire country. Utterances which appeared to be celebrating the death of Raila Amolo Odinga. So we are gathered here this morning as Bunge la Mwananchi to register our voices on that issue. We were supposed to have already made this statement, but because our president was still traveling, we had to wait for him. Now he's here, we can now make this statement at the Bunge la Mwananchi headquarters, Nairobi. So with me here is the president of Bunge la Mwananchi, Lawrence Oyugi, the chief of staff, Nicholas Kimanzi, and in the advisory council is Okumu, and the government inspector, Comrade Bush, Paul,
Youth Affairs,
who is in the Youth Affairs,
and myself,
and several other leaders here. So I will first of all invite the Chief of Staff, Nicholas Kimanzi, to read our formal statement. Then after that, all the other leaders will make off-cuff remarks on that issue. Bunge la Mwananchi.
Nguvu mashinani.
Bunge la Mwananchi.
Nguvu mashinani.
Welcome, Kimanzi.
Members of the press, is it morning? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Kimanzi, as you've heard, and I'll just proceed to read our formal statement. Bunge la Mwananchi express its deepest outrage and moral indignation at the appalling remarks made by Nyeri Governor Gov Kahiga during a burial in Nyeri, where he seemingly appeared to celebrate the death of former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, CGH, framing it as an act of God to punish the Nyanza region for being favored by President William Samoei Ruto. Such words are a stain on leadership and a desecration of decency. Governor Kahiga's remarks, made in vernacular and received with applause, reflect a worrying normalization of political hate, ethnic ridicule, and has no place in a democratic society. It must also be recalled that in July this year, Honorable Wamaua, another elected member, before passing a microphone during a function, a public function, to another elected member, Gathoni wa Mushomba, was caught on record. Wamaua was caught on record claiming that every member of the Kikuyu family or community prays every day to wake up and find Raila dead. And mind you, this was long before Raila was hospitalized, which makes it even more disturbing that such murderous wishes were being publicly pronounced to the laughter and endorsement of fellow leaders. Similarly, they impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, made deeply uncouth the artless remarks during Raila's hospitalization, saying that he and Kalonzo Musyoka are neither virus nor bacteria to be blamed on Raila's illness. Again, to the laughter of those that were their audience. Such utterances are callous, contemptuous, and unbecoming of anyone who has ever occupied high public office. Bunge la Mwananchi condemns in the strongest terms possible this pattern of mockery, malice, and moral decay from leaders who should be nation builders. The continuous chorus of bitterness from certain political quarters, including Senator Methu and others, accusing the government of favoring Nyanza with development projects. It did not vote for Nyanza. They are accusing the president of favoring a region that did not vote for the government. That alone is a direct assault on Article 10 of the Constitution of Kenya, which enshrines national unity, equity, social justice, and non-discrimination as binding national values and principles of governance. Let it be understood that Kenya is one indivisible nation under one flag and one constitution. All communities are equal before the law. Article 27, Subarticle 1 guarantees that every person is equal before the law and has the right to equal protection and equal benefit of the law. No Kenyans or no community deserve to be mocked, cursed, or humiliated for their ethnic identity or political choice. We note that the National Cohesion and Integration Commission has already summoned Governor Kahiga following public outrage. However, his so-called apology and purported resignation from the Vice Chair of Council of Governors are nothing but a mockery to accountability and a desperate attempt at political damage control. His words have already betrayed the soul of his office, and no apology can sanitize the venom he unleashed. Bunge la Mwananchi therefore makes the following demands. 1. That Governor Kahiga Mutai must immediately resign as the governor of Nyeri. Failing which, Bunge la Mwananchi will move to court to initiate his removal under Article 181 of the Constitution, which provides for the removal of a governor on grounds of gross misconduct, abuse of office, and violation of the Constitution of Kenya. Number 2, that the County Assembly of Nyeri must invoke its oversight role and authority under Article 185, Subarticle 3, and Section 33 of the County Government Act, and begin the process of its impeachment without further delay. Number 3, that the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission should investigate whether Kahiga's actions constitute violation of Chapter 6 of the Constitution, particularly Article 73, Subarticle 1C, 1A, which demands that authority assigned to a state officer must be exercised in a manner that demonstrates respect for the people, brings honor to the nation, and promotes public confidence in the integrity of the office. Number 4, we urge religious leaders, professional associations, and all Kenyans of goodwill to denounce this growing moral rot in politics, where human suffering and death are turned into tribal amusement. We want to remind all leaders and all Kenyans that death is sacred and human dignity is inviolable. To celebrate or trivialize another man's death, especially a statesman who has devoted his life to public service, is unforgivable moral crime. Bunge la Mwananchi stands resolute. There are no communities of a lesser God, and no Kenyan invited another to be born in this land. Our shared destiny is bound by the spirit of nationhood, not by the language of hate. Let history record that when moral decay engulfed the political class, Bunge la Mwananchi stood on the side of decency, humanity, and the Kenyan dream. Bunge la Mwananchi.
Nguvu mashinani.
Bunge la Mwananchi.
Nguvu mashinani.
That is the end of our formal statement. I'll invite my fellow leaders to make their off-cup remarks. Thank you very much.
Bunge power.
Power.
Bunge power.
Power.
Bunge power.
Power.
Okay, my name is Comrade Bush. I am the Bunge la Mwananchi Government Inspector. I want to reaffirm that the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga was the patron of Bunge la Mwananchi philosophy. He was also the patron of Bunge la Mwananchi ideology of political practice. Therefore, it is a moral imperative that Bunge la Mwananchi must stand at this point in time to defend, preserve its legacy, its memory, and its dignity, even in death. Therefore, we want all Kenyans to know that the posthumous cause of the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga has assumed a magnificent, profound, and a reverent cause, that sentiments similar to that which was made by the governor of Nyeri, Gov Kahiga, cannot defend, cannot preserve, or uphold, or advance his memory or dignity. And as leaders of Bunge la Mwananchi, we want to be very clear that leaders from all sides of the political divide must exercise restraint while making utterances or making condemnation. Statements similar to that which was made by the governor of Nyeri represent moral pathology and does not advance the cause of national unity. Similarly, statements that were made by the governor of Homa Bay, Gladys Wanga, equally represent moral hooliganism that does not advance or protect the memory or even the dignity of the Right Honorable Prime Minister. Leaders must exercise restraint and balance and be measured in their utterances. because those who condemn and even those who make utterances both have the potential to ruin the legacy, the dignity, and even the memory of the Right Honorable Prime Minister, regardless of which political side those statements are coming from. We know that the Kikuyu community are honorable people. They have steadfastly stood with the cause of this nation, and we have seen prominent Kikuyu leaders visiting Opoda Farm to go and pay tribute to the memory of the Right Honorable Prime Minister. Therefore, sentiments by an individual leader cannot be reduced or cannot generalize the entire community into condemnation. That one leader must be singled out, and he must be condemned, and he must be held responsible. As a nation, we must uphold the principle of accountability, targeting those who are responsible individually, not as a community. Therefore, Bunge la Mwananchi wishes to reassure the nation that sentiments that collectively or generally condemn the Kikuyu community are part and parcel of sentiments that are directed to ruin the legacy of Raila Amolo Odinga, because they have the potential to ruin the spirit of national unity that Raila stood for. Last, as leaders of Bunge la Mwananchi, we want to urge everybody in the country that as we continue with mourning the late Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, all of us, let us exercise restraint and wisdom, because our words, our utterances will have the potential of ruining a man who is being celebrated internationally. As you have seen, leading high-ranking universities have deployed top academicians to study the legacy of Raila Odinga. It will be ruinous to this cause if his own country, people from political sides, including from his own political party, are not measured in their remarks. Therefore, we want the nation to continue with mourning, but exercise restraint. Bunge power.
Power.
Bunge power.
Power.
With those few remarks, I also want to invite Kiberenge to come and the Prime Minister to come and give his remarks. Thank you.
Bunge la Mwananchi.